Did God the Father betray Jesus? Um, the way I'm saying it and the reason why I say it like this is because this is a question that many people have, and God just wants to use me to express this to you. Did God the Father betray Jesus? Honestly, how I feel about it and how the revelation I have about this and how God is speaking to me about it. Did God the Father betray Jesus? This is deep. This is deep. This is deep. This is very deep. This is deeper than a swimming pool, if I'm being honest with you. This is deeper than a lake. This is almost deeper than the lake of fire, if I'm being honest with you. It's almost deeper than that. But God created that place too. And that's for another time frame as well. But did God the Father portray Jesus? How I feel about it, yes, he did to a certain extent. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? God sent Jesus Christ on a spiritual mission and assignment to restore and reconcile us, his chosen people, back to God and get us back the access to the kingdom of God. But in the midst of that, God allowed Jesus to be mocked. God allowed Jesus to be betrayed. God allowed Jesus to be attacked by Satan. God allowed Jesus to be defenseless. So, did God betray Jesus? Did God the Father betray Jesus? Yes, he did. To a certain extent, he did. He did. And the reason why I have to say this is because I just gave you all those numerous reasons, and also Jesus Christ did not know everything like you people think. He did not know every single thing. He was the Son of God, so he knew way more than people could ever fathom. He knew more than the people who betrayed him. He knew more than his followers. So yeah, he was the smartest man to ever live on earth. I give him his full credit. But what I'm telling you is he did not know every single thing because he still had to pray to God. So if he had to pray to God, that means he still needed a certain revelation in order to do the will. So yes, he was the smartest man to ever live, and he also will forever be King of Kings and Lord of Lords. But Jesus Christ did not know everything to the point where he didn't need God the Father, is what I'm telling you. He still needed God the Father. And yes, God the Father did betray Jesus to a certain extent. Now, why do I say this is because God sent his son to save his chosen people and to reconcile his chosen people back to the kingdom, back to relationship with God. And without God betraying him to a certain extent, honestly, prophecy wouldn't have been fulfilled. So no, he didn't betray them. He didn't betray him like a human or a normal person, no, or a demon. No, he didn't betray him like that. He betrayed him on a spiritual level of pain and a spiritual level of a certain level of intimacy. Don't let this go beyond you, you know. God the Father betrayed Jesus to a certain extent. And when I say this, it's a spiritual intimacy that God denied access to Jesus. So in other words, what I'm saying is that Jesus had the most access to God that anybody could ever have. Like I said, I give Jesus his full credit. But what I'm telling you is that he did betray him to a certain extent. It wasn't a betrayal like Judas, and it wasn't a betrayal like a human, or it wasn't a betrayal like how some of you may have been betrayed. It wasn't that type of betrayal, but it was a betrayal to the point where he allowed Satan to attack. He allowed Satan to manipulate, and Jesus Christ still had certain questions when it came to his life and when it came to certain things that were happening to him. How do I know this? He said, my God, why have you forsaken me? So what is that telling you right there? Honestly, like this is for very honest folks. Like I said, so did God the Father betray Jesus? Yeah, I do think and believe and know that he did betray him to a certain extent. Now, like I said, it wasn't a human betrayal, and it was never to the point where he didn't have access. He had access. He had the most access that any human will ever have, because Jesus Christ was the Son of God as well. He was the Son of God. But he, at the same time, like I said, God the Father and Jesus are two different beings. And Jesus Christ prayed to God the Father. That's what you must understand. So yeah, God the Father betrayed Jesus to a certain extent, but it was not to the point where he wasn't going to fulfill prophecy, and it was not to the point to where he left Jesus in any point of his life. He never left Jesus or forsake Jesus. He never did. He never did. So yeah, God the Father betrayed Jesus to a certain extent, but it wasn't a human betrayal. It was a spiritual, how can I explain this, God the Father? It was a spiritual intimacy that God tested his own son with. And Jesus passed his test. And not only that, but God the Father knows everything. And God the Father sent Jesus on a spiritual assignment to fulfill his will. And God and Jesus Christ got it done. And Jesus Christ was the Son of God once again. So yeah, did God the Father betray Jesus? Yeah, to a certain extent he did. But it wasn't to the point where he forsaked him. He never forsaked him. That's the thing. Catch the revelation of what I'm saying. He never forsake Jesus Christ. He just slightly betrayed him in the intimacy that they had, because he allowed Satan to attack him. He allowed people to betray him. He allowed Judas to betray him. And he didn't tell Jesus everything. Jesus Christ still had to go to God the Father for spiritual revelation. Now, Jesus Christ was the smartest man. He was the smartest man, though. He was the smartest man at the same time, because he still was God in the flesh. But at the same time, he was still in the flesh. So you got to understand that he still needed to pray. He still needed to seek God the Father. He still needed to discipline himself. He still needed to deny sin. And he did all those things. And that's what makes him the Son of God, is that he did not give in to one sin at all. He did not give in to the flesh. He did not give in to sin at all. He did not give in to haters, wicked people, demons. He did not even give in to Satan himself. So that's what makes him the Son of God, people. Oh my gosh. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. This is what makes God, or Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So yeah, did God the Father betray Jesus? He did, to a certain extent, he did. But it wasn't a human betrayal. And it wasn't And he never forsake Jesus. That's another thing.